One of my favorite comedies, because yes, even professors like to laugh, is a silly romp through the past called History of the World Part 1. Made by comic genius Mel Brooks, this film provides viewers with amusing spoofs set in a variety of historical settings. The final setting occurs in pre-revolutionary France, in which Mel Brooks himself plays the doomed King Louis XVI. On occasion, he breaks the fourth wall and looks at the viewer and says, "It's good to be the king."
It's good to be the king.
While this movie should in no way be taken as providing anything close to resembling an accurate portrayal of the past, the phrase, "It's good to be the king," could very well have been uttered by the monarchs of the era you will be studying here. During the 17th century, a new model of monarchy called Absolutism began to emerge. To be clear, as much as the kings and queens of this era claimed absolute authority, it was much harder to put this idea into practice. Nevertheless, as you will see, from France to Russia and most places in between, monarchs made great efforts to centralize government authority within themselves and the burgeoning professional bureaucracy, often at the expense of powerful nobles and the established church. The exemplary absolutist monarch you will encounter is King Louis XIV of France. Styling himself the Sun King, he established the ideal that contemporary monarchs across the continent of Europe strove to emulate. As your reading reveals, the absolutist model created by Louis XIV was much more complex than you might expect. In many cases, absolutism seemed to provide a solution to the turmoil of previous decades, and it promised to ensure a more effective, efficient form of government that could very well benefit the monarch's subjects. Central European kingdoms such as Prussia, forerunner to the modern-day Germany, and Austria began to emerge as major absolutist monarchies at this time, as did Russia to their east. Each kingdom and monarch followed its own absolutist model, but as you will see, there were common trends to be found among them. In a way, the stage was being set for later imperial rivalries that would ultimately tear the continent apart. But at this time, the emphasis among these various absolutist monarchs was to maintain some sort of balance of power among them. Such a system of government is obviously ripe for abuses, and not all European nations trod the absolutist path. Both England and the Netherlands developed different styles of government. England ultimately a limited monarchy, and the Netherlands a republic. England's experience would most definitely have long-lasting consequences that are still with us today. As you make your way through the material, keep in mind the questions I posed for you in the discussion board for the week. Also, look forward to next week. Think about how these new trends in government could very well create an environment in which new ways of thinking could flourish.